Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. And afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and share their knowledge and experience with you. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, Dr. Luisa, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Danny?
All is well, ma'am. Thank you for being here. I'm very excited to talk to someone like you. I think it will be quite something.
Well, the pleasure is mutual. I am very excited to be on your show.
Right on.
Thank you.
The program will be focused on three main questions. What do you do for a living? How did you get there? And how did you know that this was the way to go? So that's what you do for a living, please.
Okay. Well, I wear more than one hat, so to speak. I am a maternal fetal medicine physician, so also it's called perinatologist or high-risk pregnancy specialist. So I deal in high-risk pregnancies. I am the founder and CEO of three enterprises, which is Telemed, MFM. That is 100% virtual telemedicine platform just to do medicine, okay? High-risk pregnancies. The second is my literary platform. It is Dr. Luissa K, and that is where I advocate for women for post-trauma recovery and health. And also, I promote my book, which is on the screen, Push Them Breathe, Trauma, Triumph, and the Making of an American Doctor. The third one I just launched. It's called Dr. Luissa K Foundation. And that is a nonprofit organization which focuses on medical humanitarian missions that I've been doing for the last 15 years. Also, women advocacy, women's health advocacy, and also teaching and mentorship. Okay, educational mentorship, both as for humans, for young minds who want to how to approach going into the academia, going into school, going to medicine, and also mentorship to them.
Right. So, pretty busy life.
Yes.
Were you like walking the street one day and you were like, let me write and promote a book, start three companies, and also be a very, very serious doctor? Or did something else happen?
No, well, you're funny, and that's awesome. It really is, and it's such a nice way to break the ice, right?
Yeah.
Um, no, I wasn't really doing it that way. So I always wanted to become a doctor. Okay,
Yeah.
since I was in the fifth grade, I wanted to become a doctor. I wanted to help people uh, be healthy, become healthy, teach them, but also take care of them. Um, and that's because I had a pretty traumatic experience as a child when, when I was very sick. And then I ended up having a tonsil removal procedure, really with no anesthesia. But that because I was very sickly beforehand. And then I got very healthy soon after. I was like amazed. I'm like, my God, you can actually do this miracle kind of work for people if you just know, how to treat them, how to look into the disease process and make them healthy again. So fast forward to 19 years old, I came to the United States for a 2 months visit. I came to visit my father. He was a former political dissident from communist Romania. I myself grew up in communist Romania. And that 2 months visit ended up being a lifetime. And that is all depicted in my book. Again, Push Them Breathe. That a lot of things went pretty wrong during that trip. Um, I came for 2 months. Okay, I came to visit, to meet my father, to know my father that I barely knew before that. Like I'd only met him twice in 19 years. And then he actually had different plans for me. He wanted me to stay here in the United States and pretty much take care of him. Okay. So he really kept me captive.
Which year was
Moving
that?
forward, kept me captive, meaning
Which
they,
which year?
1987.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
two
so
years
it was before the fall of the wall. Yeah.
before the Iron Curtain fell,
Yeah.
correct. So he took my passport, he changed my name, he, coerced me into filing for political asylum. Then he really forced me to break all the ties with my home and my family back in Romania. A lot of abuse, mental, physical trauma abuse. And that continued for about 7 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. And then 7 years later, in 2003, actually take that back, 1993,
Yeah.
I succeeded to get my citizenship. I regained my independence. I moved out. And then I joined the military. I joined the Air
President.
Force. And I went back to school. I went back to college, finished my undergrad. I got a scholarship from the U.S. Air Force to go to medical school. So I got the HPSP scholarship program. Um, I went to medical school and I graduated medical school at the age of 35. So that is how I became a doctor. It took me 15 years since I stepped foot in the United States.
Quite a journey.
Quite a journey, right? Jumping to the second part of what you walking down the street and thought about writing the book, right? So this book actually got started about 2 months after I came to America. I studied handwriting it really in Romanian. And after a couple of pages, a few pages, I put it aside. I just did not have the strength to finish to go on. But then about 2018, 2015, 2018, I started thinking about it, again. I said, what's the point of keeping that secret, that trauma inside
Yeah.
me, out of shame, out of how people would judge me? That because when you are a trauma-ridden person, you think nobody has gone through anything traumatic in their life. People are going to think I am a nothing, that I should be trashed around. And
I lost your voice. Uh, maybe a microphone or something.
yeah, I touched
Okay.
it by mistake. Thank you. So going back, I realized that people need voices to
Yeah.
hear other people's story so they can help themselves. Because it's easy to isolate yourself and say, nobody wants me, nobody understands me. If you open up and speak the truth, and you should, that will help you, not only you to heal, but to help a lot others. Because, silence always helps the tormentor. It doesn't help the ones that are tormented. So that's how Push Them Breathe came about. I got the book coach and we started working together. And in 2023, the book got finished. It was published in 2024. Just a few days ago, I celebrated its second anniversary. It was on February 13, 2004. It actually Pushed and Breathe saw the world. And that is how the book came about. Uh, when it comes to my company
Yeah.
and the other enterprises that I own, I have practiced for 20 years now, medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, and maternal fetal medicine. Specifically, maternal fetal medicines, now it's 12 years since I have, practiced just high-risk pregnancies as a specialist. And I had worked both as a physician, but also as a high executive leader. I have a master's in business administrations as well, and physician executive MBA. In 2022, the company that I worked for, I was running their practices here in San Antonio, Texas. And, it was right after COVID.
Yeah,
And you
about
know
to
how
say
it
that.
was, just a lot of financial upheavals everywhere. So the company actually started closing doors of the practices. So my practice was tagged. They closed it in August 2022. And that was extremely hard. Okay, it was a large practice. It was a 52 employee practice that I was running. And not that that was hard for me. It was the fact that I really bonded with that practice. We helped so many people. It was a huge, huge part of the San Antonio, Texas, healthcare system. And it took me a while. Okay, I said, I don't think I'm going to go into medicine again. It's just too painful what happened. And that only lasted, Danny, about 8 weeks. Okay, because I was like, I think I'm going to pick it up, but I'm going to do it my way. So this is how telemed MFM got started. I said, I've done telemedicine during the COVID years. So since 2020 all the way to 2022, we did a hybrid type practice. It was, a brick and mortar practice, but also we had telemedicine between our physicians and physicians who were actually contracted by us. And I knew all about it. I knew that ins and out. I knew how to set up, the HIPAA complying software, everything else. So I said, I'm going to start it. So I did. I started doing that. I started marketing the practice. Fast forward, almost 4 years later, I have, a number of contracts throughout the United States. I have another couple of not employees, contracted physicians who work through my practice. So that's how Telemed MFM and the second enterprise started.
You truly are absolutely amazing. I absolutely love talking to you. Our paths pretty much split, yours and mine. I myself was a very sickly child. Very. Everyone from my mother's side are doctors. Grandmother and grandfather. My mother is a dentist. And if I wanted to be a doctor, I could have been. I hate all of them. With my Christian love, of course, but I hate them in my own life. I don't even want to be around the hospital. I live next to one, and I'm always walking at the other side of the street. 'Cause I don't even want to see it. Every single time that I have to visit a hospital, it reminds me like 30
Yes.
years ago how it was. I hate it. And I shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. So uh it was then that I knew I will never be a doctor because it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
You said something quite sweet. When you said that people were going to judge you, I guarantee you that no matter what you do, what you're saying, it doesn't, people are going to judge you anyways. Even if you're perfect, people will still judge you. Because
Yep.
from what I know, there's been only one man on this side of heaven that happened to be perfect, and that was Jesus. I think he was judged as well, considering the whole
Yep.
cross thing.
Yeah.
So, that's I know why you were thinking because at some point we all were like that when we had big problems or small problems in our lives. Uh, People are always going to judge you, and no matter what. And this is again what you've said about the truth. When you're telling the truth, it's very liberating, even if it's an ugly one. It's very liberating for you and for everybody else. Now,
True.
for example, there are, other branches. I never lie, not because I'm a moral guy, but it's because I am tremendously lazy and I don't want to remember what I lied about because it takes too much capacity from my brain. So this is why I'm not lying, because it's easier. Also, it selects like even if you're the biggest douchebag, but you're absolutely real and that's who you are, people will still like you. There is always going to be, attraction for certain people. But if you're not pathological liar is not what I'm looking for. You're just a guy who
Right.
happens to be lying a lot. Eventually, people will find out, and nobody will be able to trust you because you're not trustworthy. So no matter what, always say the truth, not because it's the moral thing to do. It is the moral thing to do, but not because of that. It's because it's much easier. So,
No, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, imagine how much you have to remember when,
oh
and
yeah.
the thing is, you have to say another lie to cover the second lie, and you have to say another lie to cover the third lie, when it's so much easier to remember the truth because it's only one.
To be honest, I don't even remember the truth either. I don't really put my brain to that kind of stuff. I've often been in a situation where, yeah, I'm telling a story and a friend of mine, like, yeah, do you think you already told that one? Oh, okay, I didn't know. Because it's not like I'm very good at memorizing things that concern my job and my personal life, but I don't pay much attention to any of that. But yeah, it's just liberating. You
Yes,
walk
it is.
without any burden on your shoulders.
Yeah, yes, it is. And yeah, I think, like you said, so truthfully, people appreciate the
Yeah,
truth, no matter how ugly
yeah,
or how shame you, because it's just a matter of perspective.
yeah,
You know, there will be that one person in your audience, okay, that will be like, oh my God, this happened to me. I know how she feels, or I know how he feels. And say, well, that I can relate, then this is what I can do to make a difference or make it better or change my life. To me, that is everything that matters. When I meet someone and says, your story changed my life and how I look at it, or when you talk about how you do triathlons, or when you, because I'm a triathlete, and they're like, how do you do that? I said, well, this is how I do it. But you don't have to wake up, like you said, you don't wake up one day and
yeah.
they're like, oh, I'm going to just pick up, doing triathlons. It's, you make a plan, you have a vision, you make a plan, and then you start working at it, slow and steady.
That reminds me of the story that, Halloween is not really a thing here, but children love it, right?
Uh-huh.
So I moved into this new apartment complex. It's pretty good. It's beautiful, nice people, but everybody here is new because the whole place, the whole neighborhood is new, right? So I posted on a Facebook group like, "Hey guys, if your kids, want to go around for Halloween, just tell me about it because I don't eat sweets. But if they here, I gotta have something, right?"
Yeah.
And and I was talking to a neighbor of mine weeks afterwards. He's like, "Hey, you're really great with kids." And that little voice at the back of your head when you're about to say something stupid, and the little voice stops you from that. I don't have it. I never had it. I was just born without it. And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, actually, I hate children because I kind of do." And he was looking at me and said, "No, no, I mean, I hate when they're around me," which didn't help at all. They're like, but children are very important because that's how society works. So I'm
Correct.
doing everything within my power to make those kids, in a safe environment and to feel safe
Mm-hmm.
and accepted. So that's why I'm doing it. And not that I like them, I actually don't. And he was like,
I understand.
yeah, I appreciate your honesty, Danny. I mean, I appreciate the honesty. You're an absolute idiot, but I do appreciate the honesty. So,
That is cool. And talking about children, of course, I work with pregnant families,
yeah,
and I have quite a number of friends, believe it or not, strangely, that don't want to have children and never wanted to. And as a physician, as a high risk pregnancy physician, I really, really respect that because at least they know what they want.
yeah,
The fact that you say, it's like you hate them, but I could live without having them around. That is the truth.
yeah.
As
No, I mean,
opposed
I
to be
totally
like,
want
oh,
to.
I love children, but then
Yeah.
in the end, you're like, God, I'm so happy that they left, right? So
Yeah.
I believe that people should express what they really truly mean.
Yeah. Well, technically, I want to have children. I hope one day I will. I just don't like other people's children because when I have children, it will be pretty much an obligation for me to be the
Yes,
best father I can. Have like moral
yes,
obligation, like
very,
my
very
parents
true.
did for me. But I have friends that we've been together for 25 years, even more. I really can't stand being around their children. And they're kind of watching those episodes. So yeah,
it's interesting. It's like, and this is going to be a weird association,
yeah,
but I, for instance, love to have a dog. Okay, because I want to train the dog the way I like to have a dog around trained. Okay. I don't like when the dogs bark. I don't like when the
yeah,
dog, I'm a very small, petite person. So I don't like when a 70-pound dog jumps on me because I just don't like it. Okay. And it just can actually kneel and knock me over. But I don't like to hang out around other people's dogs.
yeah,
And I think it's that because to me, it's like, if these dogs are not trained properly, I think the dogs should be trained not to bark, not to jump at people. I would like to do that to my own, and I would love to have a dog to raise a dog, but I don't like when other dogs come and start sniffing me, jumping and all that. So I kind of understand your point there.
yeah. Truth be told, I don't like animals either, but it's not mutual. Like they love me. And they're always around me and sniffing. I mean, I don't hate them. I just don't want one in my home. But it's weird. I talked to a guy about that. He's like professional dog trainer. I don't even knew that it was a thing. I thought person is training their own dog, but obviously no.
No. Yeah.
And he said, "Well, maybe you just think you hate them, and maybe you just lazy and don't want one in your home, which is true." But that doesn't mean you hate them because animals are sensitive. Like if there was actual hate, they would have known.
Right.
So yeah, it's
I
interesting.
don't think you hate them, but like you said, and
Yeah,
I think that if you would have a dog that you train it a certain way, meaning to be around you like a companion and not to trash your house around, because there are, believe it or not, if they are not trained well, like
yeah.
all pets, they will make your life very difficult. So, yeah, I can see that.
Doctor, my third question is you kind of covered it. My third question is how did you knew that this was the way to go? Now, of all that remarkable experience you have, military, professional, and you were actually already an adult. You were 35 when you graduated from med school. Now, with all that background and with that passion of yours, because you're obviously passionate about what you're doing, you could have went into pretty much any other field. You have business degree and everything,
Yeah.
but you didn't. The reason I'm asking is because, as I've stated multiple times, I'm not against colleges and universities. I've been there myself. I had an amazing time. But thing is that things are different now, and things have been different for quite a while.
Right.
A lot of people are going over there because of that stigma that you get a piece of paper and it's called a diploma, and your life will be way easier. May I guarantee you that's not the case. And
Right.
it hasn't been the case for quite a while. I'm sure you've lost money. I've lost money myself. It's part of life. We're losing relationships, friends, we're gaining new ones. It's how life is. But when you lose time, that's a different kind of a problem because at the end of the day, we have 24, 5-year-old young people. Those are not children anymore. Those are not kids. Those are young people, young adults.
Yeah.
They often get into colleges and universities and grab the first option available. I'll see how it goes. Maybe I can move to something else, but time flies in a nasty way. So you don't even understand how fast things are. And at the end of the day, you have a diploma that it's not really for you. Best case scenario, you end up on a job that's not really for you. Okay, fine, you can pretend for the paycheck. Look how many tremendous, beautiful, and ridiculously gorgeous actors we have. All of them are beautiful.
Yeah.
And almost none of them are happy. Like you cannot pretend all that time.
Yeah.
You end up with a husband or a wife with children. How long can you be miserable? Eventually, this will crack. And a lot of problems will start from there. And
Yes.
that's a very serious problem. So that's pretty much what I'm addressing here. With all that knowledge you had and everything behind you, you could have went into pretty much any other direction, but you did not. What make you
Yeah.
that?
So again, you have to, you're right. I was blessed to be able to identify a passion.
Yeah,
It is it's a blessing, really is, because
yeah,
then you know what you want, right? So I have two sons, and they are very gifted at what they do. One is into the artistic field, the other one is into computers. But again, going back to me, I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. I really, really, that was my passion. Okay. Uh, the fact is that a lot of the young adults, like you said, just go in and like, well, let's see what happens. Well, I say, here in the United States, we have these programs that you can go into the college undeclared. Okay. So you
okay.
don't declare your major and kind of, see what you have. That is, to me, that is for people who really don't know what they really want to do in life. Okay. They kind of have to figure it out. However, I think, well, no, I don't think, I know that that is a scheme that colleges have. Okay. Because think about it. If it takes you 2 years to figure out what you want to do, now, meanwhile, you're taking classes, but now at the end of these 2 years, you're going to become a junior and you have to say, okay, this is going to be my major. But now a lot of these other classes you took in these 2 years really don't match up with your major. So now you have to take some more classes to actually build up to your 120 credit hours to graduate with a bachelor degree, which may take you another 4 years. So here we're talking about 6 years. I think that's a ripoff. Okay. To me, it's
Yeah,
like, no, you should not allow this young adult to take so long of a time to figure out what they want. Better yet, maybe you want to give them 6 months, 1 semester. Maybe you say, well, out of this, which one you actually have a drawing to, and then if you like something else, bring a minor into it. Okay. But just remember this, 75% of people out there don't like what they do. Can you imagine that, Danny? I mean, to
yeah, I
me,
can.
for the rest of my natural life to do something I completely hate, but I have to do it because I have to pay my bills and survive. That actually is depressing. It's depressing. It
Yeah,
will it will push you into less than healthy habits. Let's
yeah,
put it this way.
bitterness.
Yes, your family will start falling apart because now you're all the time you are resentful and mad, and you really cannot get out of it because you have to sustain a life. So it is very hard. And also
It
remember
is.
this, people, your life changes. Your interest changes, right? So I became a physician, but then I read the book. Then I said, I'll just what I say is guide yourself as the life turns. Be tolerant of that. Otherwise, what's going to happen if you stay too stiff, because we all change through our lives, you're going to end up to say, I used to like to do this, but now I don't. Well, then figure out what else you like and start branching off. Like, for instance, military, right? If you sign up for the military at 18 years of age, okay, you found a field, you finally actually get good at that, with what you're doing in your field. And then in 20 years, you have the luxury to retire with a pension. So here you are at 38. You're like, oh, I'm retired. What now? Well, then you should have thought about 5 years earlier than that, or even 10, and say, I think I'm okay with this for now, but when I retire from the military, I would like to do something else. I would like to branch into something else. So start working at it, start planning it. So start opening a small business that will slowly flourish. So you see what I mean? You have a soft landing for when you retire from the military or from, the government job. And then with that pension money, you can actually fuel and build that other endeavor of yours.
Beautiful advice. Really beautiful. My career started in the government sector. I hated every single day. So, but no, you're absolutely right about that. It's depressing. I, like you in that way, was blessed. I was 15 years old or 16, don't remember, when I knew exactly what I want to do. And I've been doing it since 2012. Like I had to work for the government a little bit because 2012 was not a good period. But afterwards, I moved into the private sector and it's been pretty good. But yeah, the numbers you're telling me are insane and depressing. I had a guest from Toronto. He was a chemistry professor. He said that 80% of his students don't even do anything related to chemistry. I was like, that's ridiculous loss
Yes,
amount of time and
it
money.
is.
It,
It
it's
is.
pointless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that sure is crazy. And with that said, Dr. K, many, many thanks for you being here. I really appreciate it. Your story is amazing. You're an amazing woman, and and I absolutely love talking to you. I don't love it enough.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the time, Danny. I really do. You have no idea. And actually being able to speak and, share my expertise and my story and my journey throughout the world, not just in the United States,
Yeah.
but throughout the world, to me is priceless. I'm going to share that with you. You can find me on my two websites,
Yeah.
telemedmfm.com and drluissak.com. My book is also for sale on the website. And not only that, I can actually, if you order it
Amazon?
through the website, I can send you my personalized and signatured owned book, your own copy.
That would be beautiful. Many, many
Yes.
things.
Okay.
I know.
Thank you so much again. Appreciate you.
Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Gap, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.